Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist and when they meet the super empath and how the super empath is different. So let's jump in. The narcissist is a distortion of reality. They avoid anybody that will truly mirror them back to themselves in the truth of what they are. Because if you embody truth, then that validates that what you're telling them is true. So if they have labeled you as a truth teller and they know that what you say is true when you say it and mean it, they can't deny it. They will try to gaslight you. But typically what they will do is run away, because they can't deny it. So if it comes from another narcissist, for instance, it's not going to mean much because they're both liars. But when it comes from an empath or a super empath, they believe it because they know it's true. But it hurts them because they don't want to address anything that's being mirrored back to them that is truth about them, which is always that they're being evil, manipulative, false, and fake. So a lot of times they will run away scared and rejecting the truth. They can't be with a super empath very long. And this would typically be somebody who's an unawoke super empath. They don't really understand narcissism, but they're still a truth teller. And when they wake up, they become the super empath, the full embodiment of it. It's interesting because the narcissist is heavily addicted to the super empath because the super empath is a challenge for them. So it's a hard takedown and they know that, but they like the challenge. And the super empath has a lot of worth to them because along with the challenge, it's what they represent and who they are out in society. Their clout is usually much higher than a regular empath because they put more work in. The super empath will give much more in a lot of ways. They will dedicate themselves to somebody, but only to a certain point until they really have given them, possibly, if they're unawoke, the benefit of the doubt before they cut them off. But both are kind of highly addicted to each other. When it comes to the narcissist, they're very addicted, but they know it's not good for them. It's kind of like on both sides. But they can't stay away. So they'll come in and they may enjoy it as long as they can, which may only be a day or so before the truth starts to hit them again from the super empath. Then they always run away because they can't change and they can't break from the lie. They're shackled to the devil. They're a living contradiction. The super empath finds this out every time they give them another chance. They mirror them back to themselves again and tell them who they are and what they're doing that's not right. The thing about the narcissist, they're not crushed by you hating them or disgusted in them. As long as you feel something for them, you fear them. They're relevant in your life, and that's all that matters to them. If they have some kind of meaning in your life, then they don't care what kind of meaning it is. They may prefer a certain type, but at the end of the day, as long as they're relevant to you, and they can affect you in some sort of way, that's what matters the most because that's what garners them supply. What really unalives a narcissist is when you give them indifference. Narcissist is defeated when you feel nothing for them in spirit. They're fixed on bending, changing, gaslighting the truth and about them, what they did, what they're doing, or what they've done. And that's how they live. They live their life that way and convincing you of it. They're motivated by competition. They don't feel love, and they thrive on control of others, power and control. The super empath is an individual that wields truth. To mirror the narcissist back, the truth, super empath speaks where others are silent. They're not going to allow for the truth to get run over. Maybe in the very beginning for a little bit, but not for but so long, before they will fight back and mirror to the narcissist the truth. They speak where others are silent, holding the line of truth, justice, and redemption. That's what the super empath does. You can't just feel sorry for something you believe in, but you have to put the action in. You can't just feel bad that truth is being walked all over and that's it. You have to actually combat it or else it will never change. An alchemist, you have to alchemize the pain placed upon you from the narcissist to power and to your purpose. You have to change it. You have to convert it into strength. That's being an alchemist. A beacon of light to enter the narcissist fortress and bring the whole thing down. Not a bystander. A bystander doesn't do anything, and that's what a lot of people are. So you want to illuminate and bring light to lies firmly planted in reality. Call them out. Don't allow the truth to be mocked. See the narcissist for what they are, who they are. Where others see strength, in the narcissist, the super empath sees the fragility. They're standing in their lies, and that's what they see. The scared little child. We don't see strength in them because they don't have strength. Their strength is in whatever they can manipulate you to believing, and giving them the attention, the admiration, adoration, whatever it takes to give them the confidence to believe in themselves, which is a falsity. The super empath sees through them and builds firm boundaries, because boundaries that are unbreakable, ironclad, those are the boundaries that super empath builds, and they're not wayward in their decision making. When somebody's done you wrong, you don't go backwards. You never go back to them. You want to evolve, not devolve. They resent those who are authentic. They don't take the bait. The super empath doesn't take the bait. And the narcissist resents those who are authentic. So eventually they're going to hate the super empath, but they're going to be highly addicted to them because they love that fuel. You're dealing with an individual with an existential struggle. Everything that is the problem is going to be coming from the outside. They never have the ability to look inside. They cover up what's inside and build a fantasy around who they are. And anything that they don't like, they decide that's where the problem's coming from, and they attack it. They devalue and degrade it. They never look within for the problem. It always seems to be from the outside. The inner spirit man has been sacrificed for the false self or the mask. The ego is built on the fantasy, inflicting harm on individuals authentic and true. Their inner emptiness, addicted to the insatiable desires, always needing more, because where they search will never satisfy them, because they won't go inside. They never will go inside and find their authenticity, their true spirit man. It may not exist anymore if they sacrifice it for the false self. The terror of truly seeing who they are, who they really are, is unbearable. They create meaning through dominance and control, not through meaningful relationships. We all know that. They're flawed fundamentally in their thinking, and it doesn't change because they're fixed. When they treat you bad, they have guilt, and that guilt is turned to shame, and that shame is turned to blame. So if you were to address an issue with them and tell them that they're wrong, this is how the process works. You guilt them because they know it's wrong. It turns to shame. Then they shame themselves. And then it turns to who can I blame because it's not their fault. And then they blame you, destroy you. And now they hate you. And they feel victory through the blame, right? Because they feel like it's been relieved. But then they feel an emptiness, a sorrow. They feel a sorrow because there's an absence of genuine connections through it all. So they get insatiable with it, because then they need more and more and more to fill it. The insight is too painful for them to go inside and to cause themselves any healing, because they've gotten so evil. It's hard for them to look at themselves the more evil you get. And then it becomes an addictive behavior, livelihood, patterns. Hurting someone hurts and shames them, so they blame you more and more until you leave and resist the abuse. Then abandonment sets in. Being exposed is the next thing that they're worried about, causing extreme reactions, no genuine connections. They build their own prison. That's what they do. They need to be seen as a hero and infallible. So what they do is they build people around them. Their friendships are yes men. They need yes men. And this becomes an extension of the narcissist ego. They're going to promote all of the fantasy of what the narcissist is, and they're going to back them up all the time, because those people get supply from that as well, because they're in tune with the narcissist. They're like the underlings, the lesser narcissist to the greater narcissist in the situation. And that's how it works. So they become an extension to the narcissist ego, increasing the mouthpiece of the narcissist, views, thoughts, and manipulations. And this will happen as a manager in a company even, and it will bring the whole company down eventually, because they're going to end up promoting manipulations. Promotes a greater echo of the lie. No culture is immune. This is everywhere, y'all. Aggression over meekness, hate over love, control over freedom, lies over truth, conformity over authenticity, fantasy over reality, competition over compromise, emptiness over connection, and robotic over humanity. And this is how they live, and it's not good for anybody. So, if you can give me a like and a subscription, I love y'all. Peace. Till next time, we out.